Hey, it's your boy KP, and I'm back with another episode of The Kyle Petty Show. This time, I got to sit down with Will Brennan, who is currently starring as Joseph in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat over at CM Performing Arts Center, running until April 6th. I like to start these things off, though, with a little story time. And you know what? I don't have a story this time, so my deepest apologies. But what I will say is that I had the pleasure of seeing Joseph on opening night. And there was a little snafu, right? As soon as the curtains opened, something snapped, and there was this rope just kind of like just dangling from the center. And obviously, the show had to be stopped. We had to clear this. But what I will say about CM is that I'm always amazed at how quickly they recover from moments like this. You can't get away from it. Like, that's what live theater is. These things happen. But I'm telling you, somebody came out with a ladder, bing, bang, boom, and that was it. By the time you got into the next song, you forgot that this even happened. So I just think that resiliency is so awesome. I've always been impressed with that. Whether I was on the stage when it was going on or off the stage and watching as a patron. But that's all I got. So yes, catch Joseph running until April 6th. And here is my conversation with the very delightful Will Brennan. I am Kyle Petty, and I am back with another episode of The Kyle Petty Show. This time, I'll be having a little chat with Will Brennan, who is currently starring as Joseph in Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat over at CM Performing Arts Center, running from March 16th to April 6th. I wrote it down to make sure I knew this. That's a little bit of a longer run, too, for CM, right? We added a weekend. Is that to get through Easter?
Yeah, so we're taking a break, actually, that Easter weekend. That's why it's longer.
Gotcha. So no show on that Saturday either.
Correct. Yeah.
Good. Glad that came up. There you go. You heard it here first.
Breaking news.
Yeah. So tell us some things about you. Introduce yourselves to people who may not know you, the masses out here. Imagine this is the first time you're meeting your cast, and you're kind of going around the table. You got to say something. What do you say?
Sure. Well, hi, my name is Will Brennan. I will be playing Joseph in this production of Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat. Let's see. Some things that I do on the side. I'm currently a full-time student. I am an English major at St. Joseph's University. I should be graduating in spring 25.
Almost there.
Almost there. Yes, it's a tough semester, I must say, adding with all the stress about Joseph on as well.
I'm sure.
Let's see what else. Hobbies that I like to do aside from theater, which is mostly my life. My life is just theater. But on the side, I like to write. That's my big other major thing. I write all the time, and it's just something I'm very passionate about, storytelling.
Okay, so you're writing your fact or fiction here?
Mostly fiction. Fiction. Yeah.
So we're not reporting on things. We're coming.
No.
Yeah.
All
right. Awesome. That's awesome. I went to school for journalism. So that's a little thing that kind of resonates with me, and that's why I asked the fact or fiction portion of it, because I'm not creative enough to come up with a story of my own. I got to tell other people's stories.
Of course.
But awesome. So I requested 2 truths and a lie.
Yes.
I've had a pretty poor track record with this.
I wanted to ask, have you lost every time?
I think I have.
Oh,
I don't remember how the Laura one went.
Okay.
Because that already feels like it was forever ago, even though it wasn't. But
sure.
Otherwise, yes, I've been wrong every time.
Okay.
And even when I go in with my full chest, I feel super confident. The Veronica one really shook me. So I don't know. My confidence is definitely shaken here. So yeah, hit me with yours. I'm hoping this is going to be the one I get.
I'm confident in you. I think that you will.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
So
I'm gonna write these down so I remember. All right, here we go.
So I've just brought up that I love to write. During the global pandemic of 2020, 2021, COVID, I actually wrote a 12-season TV show, which lasted about 253 episodes, 60 pages each, about loosely inspired by my high school life, my high school drama and whatnot. It was a passion project that I thought, hey, the world has shut down. I can get all of this out.
This is the time
out of my brain. Yeah, and I have a music playlist that goes along with it of famous songs that I just love to listen to that go into certain scenes. Like my favorite song ever, "Chasing Cars" by Snow Patrol, that goes into the show. Other various songs. There's some Billie Eilish in there, stuff like that.
Okay, preliminary thoughts. That feels potentially true.
Okay.
So, all right, I'll mark that down as a maybe. All right, it does
It might
sound
be
like a
partially
lot
true.
of work.
You don't know.
Right, I know. Well, I don't. I never do. But 253 episodes. That feels like an awful lot. But okay, we'll see. We'll see. What is number 2?
So number 2 is actually a friend of mine works as a production assistant for various TV shows in LA. And a couple years ago, I was visiting her, and she snuck me onto the Grey's Anatomy set.
Oh.
And I saw various different set stages, sound stages. I saw their emergency room set, various little hospital rooms, and I actually ran into one of the directors and one of the stars of Grey's Anatomy, Kevin McKidd. And I fooled him into thinking that I was also a production assistant. We ran into each other at the catering area, and I was freaking out because I was obviously not supposed to be there.
Right.
And from what I can remember, he asked if like I had one of the badges to like get into the location. That's how we got in.
Right, like to get in there, right?
Yeah, and I pretended that I just left it at home. And luckily, my friend Hannah, she got to convince him that I was not a burglar, essentially.
I actually was allowed to be here. I do have access here.
Yes.
All right. I don't know. Again, using the name Hannah, the extra context here. That's just your nameless friend.
Yes.
Okay. All right. And what is number 3?
So number 3 is actually an interesting one because do you remember when you swung in for The Wizard of Oz at CM a couple years ago?
I do.
Yes.
But,
well,
that was an experience.
If you remember correctly, I don't know if you probably weren't there at the time, but I actually had to swing in as the Scarecrow and the Tin Man during that run.
Which is a lot.
Yes, but what most people don't know is that I was originally the understudy for the Lion.
Oh.
Well,
that means you knew all 3 parts?
No, I was not supposed to be the Scarecrow or the Tin Man. I was
right, but how did you swing in that? I mean, like that's an awful lot to do.
Exactly. So I was promised a show as the Lion, a 10 o'clock school show, which I think was the one that you were supposed to swing in for. If I remember correctly, I'm not sure.
I think it was at 2 p.m. there was supposed to. I think there was supposed to be a second one was canceled or something like that.
Yes, it was canceled. That's why I wasn't going on as the Lion. Okay. But during Tech Week, I was told, "Hey, we need you to go on as the Scarecrow because our Scarecrow got COVID, unfortunately." So it was like Wednesday night tech where they were like, "Hey, you have to go on since you should know at least part of his scenes, considering that you were the Lion understudy."
Yeah, I mean, you know them enough. Like, I don't know how you memorize lines, but like, I don't. I just like, oh, I know this person speaks, and then I say this. Right. I don't always think of it as like a full blown like conversation, which is probably also why I don't remember my lines ever. Right. But like, yeah, I'm not good at that at all. So, and then how did you do the other one then?
I don't know how I did the other one, to be honest. It was a couple weeks later where I get told on my birthday, actually, "Hey, you are going on as the Tin Man tomorrow night because our Tin Man got the flu."
I'm like, "I'm sorry, you're gonna have to find somebody else." How did you manage that? Did you freak out? I mean,
like, I was terrified. It was my birthday. I was supposed to be like partying, having fun, but no, I had to like learn all of these Tin Man lines. Luckily, the Scarecrow is in a bunch of scenes with the Tin Man, so I sort of got to play off
a little.
Yes, I got to play off of Patrick and whatnot. But just the scary thing was initially I was supposed to be the Lion.
Yeah, that's horrifying.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So our 3 things here. Number 1, during COVID, you wrote a 12-season, 253 episode TV series. 2, snuck on to the set of Grey's Anatomy via our friend Hannah, and convinced people you were a production assistant as well. And 3, you swung in for at the Wizard of Oz for the Scarecrow and the Tin Man.
But I was supposed to be the lion.
You were supposed to be the lion. Right. See, that one I feel like is true. I'm going to say that the lie, the Hannah thing is what got me. I still think that the lie is that we snuck on to Grey's Anatomy. I believe that is an untruth.
So,
oh no.
The truth is, I was supposed to be the lion, but I swung on as the Scarecrow and Tin Man.
Okay.
I did write a 12-season, 253-episode TV show. And I did sneak onto the set of Grey's Anatomy. However, I didn't meet any of the cast members or see any of the set pieces. They just snuck me onto the lot.
Wow. So you are tricky here.
Yes.
But I still did at least.
You got it correct.
I did still get it. So yeah, I am very, very pleased.
Yes.
Way to go, me.
Nice job.
Finally. Nice. Thanks. Finally, I got one. Oh my gosh, I can't wait to clip it. Nice. All right, good for me. So for the new person, right? Because I think it's a little ridiculous for people to not know the story of Joseph, right? You must have been like living under a rock or something like that. Have you've never seen it, or you never like not familiar with the biblical story? Like, what is happening here? But for the person who has been living under a rock, what is Joseph about, and how would you summarize the story?
So, Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat is a retelling of the famous Genesis Bible story about Joseph, the dream interpreter. In the story, his 11 brothers, who are jealous of the favoritism that Joseph receives from their father Jacob, they sell him into slavery. After being thrown in prison for crimes that he did not commit, Joseph discovers that he is able to interpret dreams, and that leads him to the Pharaoh of Egypt, who asks Joseph to interpret his dreams, which leads to Joseph discovering that there will be a famine in Egypt, and he helps the Pharaoh protect the entire nation from the famine, and he essentially saves Egypt, and that leads him into a powerful role in the government, and that leads to Joseph reuniting with his family, and some stuff happens, and you'll have to see the show to find out exactly what happens when they reunite.
Perfect. That's a perfect summary. And it's a classic story. So yes. People who don't know it, they really should. Obviously, they should. So what interested you in playing this role?
Yeah, so I actually discovered the song Close Every Door through my voice teacher back in 2018, 2019, when I was auditioning for musical theater programs for school. And I fell in love with the song. I thought that it was such a beautiful message of, hey, you can throw all of this stuff at me. You can chain me up. You can keep my family from me. I will still be able to persevere. That's a big theme of the show.
Yeah.
Joseph's sort of hope and his perseverance through all of the stuff that I don't know if I can curse. I'm not going to. I was just gonna say crap. All the crap that life throws their way. You know, we're gonna keep it PG-13 language. Nice. And it's sort of a message that I resonated a lot with, just persevering through all of the horrible things that life can throw at you sometimes. That there's always hope. There's always a path forward. And that's what drew me to the song initially. And then around probably September of last year, I was sitting down with my very good friend, Matt Sirico, who I'm sure you know.
Oh, yeah.
Of course you know Matt Sirico. Yes, yeah. I love Matt. He and I got on the topic of like dream roles and whatnot. And Joseph came up. He has played the role before. He loves the show deeply. His Instagram handle is DREAMCOAT12. So that just goes to show how much he loves the show. And he pointed out, like, that's a perfect role for you. And then about 2 months later, TM announced that they were going to be doing Joseph, and I was like, I have to get that part, because it's not only something that a role that fits me so well as like a baby faced like tenor, but it's just, I sort of take it as a symbol of my own sort of perseverance.
That's beautiful. It personally resonates with you.
Yeah.
Is that what you might say is probably one of the more rewarding things about this role? Like, what is the most rewarding thing about playing Joseph for you?
So actually, the most rewarding thing is definitely like that sign of perseverance, as I said. Right. But it's sort of getting the chance to play Joseph in several different areas of his life. So like, he starts out as the favored son, kind of cocky in the sense that he knows he's Jacob's favorite, and he's better than the rest of the sons. That's what the Dreamcoat represents, his wealth and his prosperity.
Right.
So to go from proud son to next scene, he is an ashamed slave, like half naked on stage, and just so weakened, but still having that hope. And then to the next scene, being the person that is running the Egyptian government, the pharaoh. Just getting to play those different aspects of the character, I feel, is both challenging and rewarding. Like, last night was our first run with costumes. And I felt those different parts of the character. As I get the coat on, I felt proud. I felt like I was showing off, strolling around with that gorgeous multicolored coat. And then next, I'm a slave that is half naked on stage, that feels ashamed of himself, feels like he has no hope. And then the moment that I put on the pharaoh costume, I felt elevated, like I was at I was the guy. I was the it guy. And just having that click, I thought it was magical. It was insane.
Oh, I love that. I think costumes, even just in a run through, it changes the entire experience in any production, really. But I'm sure certainly in this, because it's so layered. And like you said, you're playing this in so many different phases of his life. It just brings the whole thing to life, and you can kind of connect with it a little bit more. Yeah. All right, very cool. I'm excited to see it. I haven't seen Joseph now in some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, because when did CM do it last?
CM did it in 2019 with Hans,
right.
who you just had on
Yes,
the show.
it was with Hans, yeah.
Yeah.
Gosh, it feels like it was longer than that. Like that, I guess that is 5 years though. Like, yeah, that's wild. Time has been wild. Any Hoosers. What's your favorite moment in this show?
So going back to Close Every Door. It's not I love that song deeply, and that's what made me discover the show, but it's not that moment. My favorite moment of the show is literally right after, when I'm at my lowest point, and in Go Go Joseph, the entire cast comes on stage, and the way the number is blocked, I'm sitting at the very edge of the stage facing the cast, and they're all dancing around me with the brightest, most beautiful smiles on their faces, and they are giving me thumbs up. They are saying, "You can get through this. You will be fine." Like, that's the lyric. You and your dream code are ahead of your time. You will be able to get past this very deep pit that you are in, and just having all of those people around me say that, it not only helps me with the character, but it just helps me as a person. It lets me know that I am strong enough to get past anything. And it's wonderful having the entire cast support you like that.
I love that. I've never heard somebody speak so passionately, like, about a role. Like, It's very endearing. It makes me even more excited, like, to see it, just knowing how much it's connecting with you, like, as a person.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I love hearing that. Oh, awesome. Now you're not new to theater, right?
No,
Like,
no.
you've certainly done a number of shows before.
Yes.
So of all the shows that you've performed in, like, which one would you say is, like, your favorite?
So it's that's like an impossible question
I know.
because
That's
there
why
are
I like to
so
ask
so many
it.
reasons. Like, I have 3 listed in my notes. Can I
Yeah,
name
yeah,
3?
name 3,
Okay.
name 3.
Um, so my first ever show outside of school was Les Mis in 2018 at the Gateway Playhouse. It was Les Mis School Edition. I played Angel Ross,
Okay.
and I have never felt more badass on stage. Now, if you know Les Mis, but I'll explain it.
Yeah.
He's the leader of the revolution. He's the one with the gun in One Day More. He's marching. He's the head of the pyramid marching, and he feels he's so different to who I am as a. That's not entirely true. I feel like I can sort of. He's just more badass than me. I'll just put it like
Mm.
that. Like we both can fight for what's right, but
Mhm.
he's just more headstrong about it, and that's why I loved playing that. And I originally I wanted to play Marius in that show just because he has all the gorgeous songs and he's like a heartthrob or whatever. But Andre Ross is so much cooler,
So
and no
much
one
more
talks
fun.
about him
So much
enough.
more fun.
What'd you say?
It's so much more fun.
Yes,
Yeah.
I love that role so much. I cannot imagine playing another part in that show. I justice for Angel Ross. People should want to play him more. That's just what I'm saying. Um, Another favorite show of mine was definitely Jesus Christ Superstar in 2022 at CM.
That is one of my faves too.
I have never the familial aspect or the familial cast. I'll put it like that was gorgeous. There was not one mean bone in the cast. It was just such a community and so lovely, and we all had so much fun. And I feel like that's the goal for a show, especially in a community theater,
Right.
to
And
have
especially
that.
for that show too.
Yes.
Because that's another one that obviously classic story, right? But that's what it's about, and that's what Jesus was about.
Yeah.
So you want that feeling among the cast, and I've done that show, I think like 3 times now, and each and every time it was just like that too.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think that show brings it out of people.
Yeah. I like every night when Eli, who played Jesus, when he was hung on the crucifix, every night the entire cast would sob,
Yeah.
and I feel like that just goes to show how much we loved and appreciated one another.
Mhm.
God, I will never get over how wonderful that entire experience was. Incredible.
Yeah, that was a great production too. I was sorry I was not ready to return to theater for that one. Um, it hurt my heart to
Yeah.
not to see a production of Superstar go up that I was not in.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, nice, nice. What's your
Um,
third?
yeah, my third, I am gonna bring it back around to The Wizard of Oz.
Mm,
Um, just getting the chance to swing in and honestly connecting it back to my favorite moment of Joseph, having the entire cast rally around me as I am learning the Scarecrow mid tech week, and just that support system. It was I felt so loved and appreciated. It was incredible, and a million and two thank yous to that entire cast. I love them so much.
that's cool. I don't think I could ever say that one of my favorite things would be having swung in for anything. Like my anxiety would just be like through the roof. So
Oh, mine was as well,
yeah,
but I mean, it was still so incredible.
yeah, I don't find those things enjoyable. I'm not really good in moments like where things are not well, you saw. If things are not going correctly.
You did so good.
No, I did not. When
You might have skipped a scene, but you
I
did so good.
skipped something completely, and I can't. What a horrible memory, and a fantastic one at the same time. I mean, I kind of like blocked that out until you until you run it
I'm
back.
so sorry. I didn't mean to.
Very traumatic. Very traumatic. Well, that's perfect because what is your favorite or funniest moment on stage?
So bringing back up Matthew Sirico. So he directed Hello Dolly at CM in 2022. I was a member of the ensemble, and in the opening number, Call on Dolly, I think it's called. Matt and my friend Fernando, they were stagehands that night, because I believe the ASM Rye Kavanaugh, I think, sprained their ankle. I think, if I remember correctly, so they were out. So Matt and Fernando, they were on stage moving set pieces. So they bring out this horse-drawn carriage that has Dolly on it, and it just so happens that the carriage winds up in front of me, and I'm like frozen in like a tableau. I think like my pose is like this or something. So Matt and Fernando think it would be so funny if they tie my shoelaces together.
Oh my God.
So they tie my shoelaces together, and so we're blocked to get off stage by shuffling our feet anyway, so like that's fine. However, as I'm shuffling my feet off stage, my shoelaces get tighter and tighter and tighter.
Right, because the knot is, yeah,
Right.
right.
So I get off stage. I'm supposed to go run around stage for a dance number. I run into the dressing room and I'm like, guys, I can't get my shoes untied. Kevin Burns freaks out, and they actually cut my shoelaces off.
I was thinking this. I'm like, probably gonna have to cut this. You're not gonna have to.
Yeah. They cut them right off, and then I have to run back around. And I still have those shoes to this day. Still, Matt has not reimbursed me for the laces.
Unacceptable.
And like at the time, we were Matt and I, like, to this day, are like best friends. Like, he's one of my favorite humans. So is my friend Fernando. But at the time, like, we were friends, but we were just sort of, I was just sort of starting to do stuff at CM. So that was, Matt likes to call that the moment that we became best friends, when he tied my shoes together.
Yes. And now you had to do this dance number with these untied shoes, basically, because now I guess now the shoes are becoming looser and looser as you're doing this. Yeah. Which is a safety hazard. So not only are you now due some shoelaces, but I don't know, you should get them kind of like
workers' comp, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you didn't really get hurt, so I guess it's not like workers' comp.
Sure.
Hazard pay of some kind, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're due a lot. And we're gonna start a campaign.
Sure. Yeah.
And at least get you some
cancel Matt Sirico 2024.
Yeah. Oh. I don't want to cancel him.
Get him fired? I don't know.
Oof, that's
I'm kidding. I love Matt.
Arguably worse.
I love Matt deeply. If it wasn't for Matt, then I might not be in the position that I am right now, because he told me to go for it, and now I'm portraying this incredible role in this incredible production. So thank you a million to Matt.
Yeah, I love that, and I love him. He's very, very special. Yeah, I don't think I could have done any of those things that I used to do with the Onyx, like, without him. Like, that was like a non-negotiable to me. Like, that's the person I need to be up here. It makes me feel very safe. Doesn't matter how many things are going to go wrong. Like, if Matt's there, you feel like you're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's fantastic. So what's next for you? Not that we're trying to rush Joseph away or anything,
Right.
but, like, but what comes after this for Will?
So nothing on stage for the moment, but I will be assistant stage managing Saturday Night Fever at CM. That's gonna be going up. I don't know the dates exactly, but it's in May. And from what I have seen, I haven't been there yet, of course, because I've been with Joseph, but from what I have seen, the cast is sensational. Mike Shapiro is starring. He just was the lead in Footloose, and he was incredible there. So I can only imagine he's going to be remarkable as the lead in Fever. The cast, from what I've seen, the dance numbers are wonderful. Melissa Rapoli is choreographing, and she's always unstoppable.
Fantastic, yeah.
Yes. So that's going to be an amazing production, and I'm so excited to work on it.
Yeah, I love Saturday Night Fever. It's a very, very fun show to be in too. Have you stage managed before? Is this your first go?
So I've ASM'd a couple shows at this point. Never stage managed. Hopefully that will change. But
That's a lot of work too.
yeah,
I
yeah,
stage managed twice, and I was like, okay, I have definitely
yeah,
had. I think everyone should give it one shot,
right.
just to understand how much is really on their plate, and get I don't know a taste of the entire process here.
Yes,
Yeah, because
it's
it's a
given me
lot.
a new respect for theater in general because there's so much
Absolutely.
more than just what is going on stage.
Hmm.
It's there are so many minds and just geniuses that are putting all their hands in the pocket to make the best product, and
Yeah,
just
the
getting to
responsibility is so much.
working on that side of things. It's just as special as being on stage. Yeah.
Um, where can people find some more information about things that you have coming up down the road? Where can they find you on social media and all that?
Yeah, so social media, Instagram, I'm at the Will Brennan, all lowercase. And also link in my bio for tickets to see Joseph.
Perfect. Oh, it's also worth mentioning because you guys are doing something special also, April 5th.
Yeah.
Anyone who knows the Dowdell family, Dylan Dowdell has recently been diagnosed with Hodgkin's lymphoma. So on April 5th, they're running some different promotions there, right? I believe if you use the code Dylan when you're
Yes.
purchasing the ticket, a portion
Yes.
of the proceeds will go,
Correct.
which is something really, really awesome. So if you wait that long to see Joseph, that save it for them then, obviously, save for them. What else are they doing? There's like a 50-50 that's also gonna be benefiting the
Yes,
family
that's
to
correct.
kinda help with that, and some other raffle things too, right? Did they
Yes.
announce what they're raffling?
I'm
Do you
not
know
sure.
yet?
I haven't seen anything. I
Okay,
think it was just the 50-50, but I could be wrong.
right. Alright, well, more to come. I guess we'll find out more as it
Yeah,
gets closer, but yeah, definitely worth mentioning. Um,
absolutely. Absolutely.
but well, listen, thank you so much for chatting with me today, right
Thank
smack in the
you.
middle of the day, so thank you. Thanks for hanging out,
Thank you
and,
so much for having me. I was honored, privileged to be
oh,
on this.
of course, oh, please. Thank you so much. Joseph is running closes April 6th, so that's the day after the Dylan show, as we'll call it.
Yes.
But yeah, excellent. You can buy tickets at cmpac.com or by calling the box office. And that's it. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Isn't he just the most precious? Thank you again, Will, for hanging out with me. You can find more on The Kyle Petty Show at thekylepettyshow.com, including my full review of Joseph. And you can also find me on Instagram at The Kyle Petty Show. You know, we like consistency in this house. But we're about a month into this thing. And I had to just say thank you to everybody for your love and support on this thing as I still figure everything out. Thanks a lot for supporting. And we'll catch you next week.